Are we live? Are we on? I wonder if we're on. Okay, I guess we're on. Now, thanks for stopping by. This is really last minute. I know it's a weird time for time of day for everyone else in the world. I'm in Australia, so it is 4 p.m. here, but I'm sure for everyone else the time is a bit I don't know, it's probably like 1 in the morning. Uh, oop. So I don't super expect anyone to show because of the time of the day, but I thought I'd create some uh, video content for us to hang out and we can discuss what's coming up with our upcoming games. So I'm the developer of Silver Falls. My name is Jerrel. We have 7 titles coming up, which is kind of insane. So it sounds like, oh, we'll just dump some games on the eShop before the eShop closes for 3DS and Wii U. But the majority of the games that are launching on the Wii U and 3DS, they've been in development for between 1 to 2 years. Some of them have been in development since our first game on the 3DS, and we moved them from the 3DS and onto the Switch. And so how it works with developing Silver Falls titles is I'm never developing just one title. I'm usually developing 2 or 3 uh, smaller games off to the side while I develop one main title, and that allows me to make sure that all of the stories align with each other and they all connect in a cohesive and coherent manner. And that means that I can have content that connects between the games. That's why I'm usually developing multiple games at a time. I've had Guardians and Metal Exterminators at 85% complete, and it's been sitting since the middle of 2012. So I've been hanging on to that game. So the only games that we've started totally fresh for the Wii U and 3DS are actually the Gaiden titles, and the result, those games are a result of our fan feedback. So I tend to ask people what sort of games they want. If you could get one more game on the 3DS and Wii U, what game would you like? So I've collected all the feedback, and I've sort of gauged what people really want to play on the 3DS and Wii U. So that's what Gaiden is 100% that's driven by this is what you asked for. If you are still using 3DS and you are still using Wii U, there's a good chance that I'm making Gaiden especially for you because this is the kind of content that people asked for. And that's long-term action-adventure exploration games, something that's multiplayer that they can enjoy with friends just sitting on a couch and hanging out, and something that's just has a lot of depth and a lot of content to it. And these are games that I will be allowed, I've discussed this with Nintendo, I'll be allowed to keep updating these and adding more content and adding significant content so that these games can be enjoyed for a long time, for as long as Nintendo will let me update them. So what I'll be working on today is sculpting. I'm using a program called Sculptress, and I like using this. It's an older program. It's pretty old, 5, 6, 7 years old now, something to that effect. But it does absolutely what I need it to do. It's fast. It's easy to use. Pixelogic, they make newer software that's more robust, but I don't necessarily need more robust software. This does exactly what I need it to do. If I were developing on platforms that were more demanding of more detail, higher resolution stuff, that's when I would upgrade to Pixelogic's other software. But I also like sharing Sculptress because it's free. You can download that, and even if you don't have any sculpting or modeling experience, you can use Sculptress for free. Try it. It's a lot of fun. You can use just your mouse to sculpt. I use a Wacom tablet. So I've got a Wacom Intuos 4, this is? Yeah, this is an Intuos 4. I've got a couple of different nibs and stylus that I use. So this is one stylus. This has a felt tip on it, so that actually adds a little bit of friction between the drawing surface and the stylus, so it slows down the movement, which gives you better fine control. I've got one of these cases here, and if you open that up, I've got a secondary stylus that has a plastic tip that allows faster movement. So when you're in your digital painting, there are situations where you want a faster brush stroke. So I usually have two on my desk here that I can swap over to. So anyway, yeah, and anyway, I tend to use. I'm just doing this live stream right now because I'm able to make a long form video faster. Otherwise, if I record it on my computer, it'll take like 20, 30 gigs. Then I have to edit that, and then I have to upload it. It's a lot faster if I do it this way. And I need to focus my development time on the games themselves. So I'm actually going to sculpt this guy as fast as I can, because I've had the concept for this guy. We're sculpting an Undertaker, which I think will be pretty fun for people. Undertakers is our second game in the series, and it's our second game on the Nintendo 3DS. Silver Falls Undertakers. The style of the game, it looks a little bit like an Atari 2600 game. That's one of the consoles that I grew up with. And so, because the story of Undertakers is set in the 70s, that's why I've used the Atari 2600 visual style for Undertakers. And it's not just the visual style. I try to adhere to not the limitations, but the philosophy of game design and how media was created back in that 70s. And that's generally my philosophy for creating any of these games is if the story is set in a particular decade, I try to create that game with the philosophy and the mentality of that decade, because it helps the story feel more tangible and genuine. It's really easy to just throw in popular 80s music. Ooh, look, this is cool synth 80s music. This is an 80s thing. But if you don't adhere to the philosophy and mentality of the 80s, then you're not very genuine. It's quite cynical, and it feels more like a cash grab. That sort of thing more irritates me than anything else. So I try to be as genuine as I can about it. I have two flies flying around here. It's a little bit irritating. Where's my simplify? Where'd my guy go here? Reduce brush, here we go. Okay, just want to clean up. So you want to be careful when you're sculpting and you've got like an area being pinched there. If you don't reduce that, it's going to go crazy, and you'll have crazy glitches in there, and then you'll lose control of the sculpt pretty quickly. Go ahead and hit the save button. So I know that I've got my front arms here, I've got my back legs here. All right. Let's see. My zoom in and my grabby grabs. What I like about the Intuos 4, I have other Wacom tablets, and if I haven't shared this one with you before, what I really like is this control wheel. As I spin this control wheel, you can see I can zoom in and out. I can also push this middle button, and I can change my brush size, I can rotate, and of course these things apply differently to different programs. If you use like a Photoshop or something similar, you can customize those. You can also customize the command buttons there as well. You can see little LED screens. I really like those. I'm sideways, I know, but my cables are, I don't want to tangle up my cables here. So you can customize those, and they're quite useful. Whereas I have other Wacom tablets that have the like a monitor built into the tablet. I really like those for fine art, especially if I have to do line work, and coloring I really prefer to do on that. But the problem is those don't have the control wheel. They don't have those customizable buttons on the side where you can specify on the little LCD screen there what they do, and I quite like having that feature. That's one of my favorite features. Are these flies replicating in here? I feel like there's more than two now. Oh no, I've still got my reduce brush. I want to get back to my draw here. Okay. And in my playlist here, I've actually loaded up some music from the upcoming games. So there would be some Silver Falls music that we haven't necessarily heard yet. Man, these flies are really, hope they'll just kind of go away on their own soon. Okay, so what we want to do here is give them a little bit of that. Give them a little bit of that. I want to shape the body just a little bit now. And then we want to give them a body that goes like that. But you also you need to express something with your designs. You can't just make a visual mess. You have to understand the shape that you're expressing. So I like to understand that there are bones, there's a skeletal structure in there. So it's a balance of visual communication, but also storytelling, because your enemy design is a chance for you to tell story as well. So there would have to be some muscle connection here and bones. So I'm just going to fill that in a little bit so it visually makes more sense. Okay, yeah, a little bit like that. Not better simplify that before the design sort of freaks out a little bit. You enjoy yourself some coffee as well. So you can see I'm zooming out because that actually helps the brush hit a bigger area. The brush doesn't scale with the zoom, so I find that quite useful. It's like that with painting as well. It's a bit of a weird thing to get used to if you haven't been used to it before. So I need to reduce the inside of this before it freaks out on me. Let's go ahead and hit our reduce. This is one of my favorite brushes. This is really fantastic. This saves a lot of trouble. This reduce brush is one of my favorite tools because it helps me optimize the character mesh for games, and then make sure that you don't want to have too many polygons in your game. There we go. All right. Oops, accidentally hit that. My bad. And then let's go ahead and go back to our draw tool. I've got a button here on my drawing tablet. If I hold down Alt, I can specify that on my drawing tablet. Let's see here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Wonder if this. Okay. Just turn that up a little. Okay. Okay. I wonder what time it is in America. It must be past 12. Okay. So my philosophy with designing monsters. So I'm a big fan, obviously, of Silent Hill and Resident Evil. I love the monster designs in those games. I love monster design in horror movies. And with Silver Falls, I want to make something that people enjoy looking at. It's cool. There's something cool about a monster design where you look at it and you think, man, that thing is so rad. But when people ask me about the monsters, I don't want to spoil the fun by explaining the ideas behind the monsters, because they're created in a way where you have to fill in the blanks a lot when you're looking at monsters in Silver Falls. And to me, that's a huge part of the fun, is that the game doesn't ever explain what they are, and you really just sort of gotta do some mental gymnastics to explain to yourself what the monster is. And so that's my philosophy with Silver Falls. Oh, cool. Let's see. That one guy, Jesse. Hey, what's up? Okay, let's see. Oh, hi. Yeah. So you just found our studio after the eShop news. Thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you. So our games are. Some games are more focused on horror, and then others are more of just a pretty chill experience, you know. So we're not trying to be this super hardcore, look how scary we are, um, all the time sort of thing. Like White Inside Its Umbra will be our most horror-focused game because of the amount of tension that's involved with exploring the mountains at night. But the other games are quite chill, and they're just meant to be something really fun that you can enjoy with friends. This is looking adorable. So these guys tend to end up really adorable early on in sculpting. Um, you know, I'm a big fan of Yoshi. When I played Super Mario back in the 90s, my favorite thing was getting Yoshi. So I don't know, my brain sometimes it just it just makes a Yoshi. Oh, Closhin, is that how you pronounce your name? Well, hey, if Pony Petter, look, if people want that, I'll do a port, you know? I'll port it to every platform under the sun. I'll port it to a TI-83 calculator. Actually, we had testers that were playing the game, and while the testers were going through the story segments, you know, they're talking to the characters, and the characters are saying, you know, these really dramatic dialogues like, oh, you know, I was married to so and so for this many years, and my life was like this. And then our testers are looking at it like, wow, so dramatic. Wow, yeah, the story's so dramatic. And I would see them just bringing up Pony Petter, and all of a sudden they're playing Pony Petter off to the side when they should be paying attention to the story. And I think look, I think that's what having games on your phone is for. Is all of a sudden you're in this dramatic conversation, and you really maybe you just want to play a fun phone game instead. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to give some mass around the neck and the mouth part, and then we'll see what my plans are with the mouth. Just need to make sure there's a lot of to work with there. Um, no, I'm making another Yoshi. No, I'm making a Birdo now. Oh no, I've made a Birdo. Great, great. Uh, all right, in America, it's oh, it's past midnight. No, thanks for letting me know. Um, Luna Nights. How many people are helping you? I am a solo developer. I work on these games alone, but in terms of helping spread the word about Silver Falls, I get a massive amount of help from our supporters. You know, people that just they enjoy the games, and people will DM me on Twitter and Facebook, and I'm happy to chat with anyone. I'm not like a famous celebrity. I'm just a dude who just wants to make video games. So if people send me a message in DM, I'll chat about video games with you. I'm happy to chat. And um, I like hearing about the games that people are playing right now, the games that they're really enjoying. Uh, every second of my day is dedicated to creating these games right now. We're actually at a really pivotal point um, right now because we need to get these games out, uh, and uh, I can't actually afford to slow down. So that's why I've been working so hard on these games, uh, and I'm hoping I can sell enough of these upcoming games that I can hire on some team members to help me create these games. So at the moment, I just work alone. I'm not funded by some big company, and I never will be. If somebody offered to buy the Silver Falls IP for $1 billion, I would say no thanks. I really don't care. I'm making this, and that's because I don't want someone telling me what to do. I don't want someone telling me that I need to put NFTs and loot boxes into my games. So, Silver Falls belongs to the people who want to play it. And the people who want to play Silver Falls, they don't want NFTs, and they don't want to have to, oh, you ran out of time crystals, you better spend it's only $5. Just spend $5 on these time crystals and you'll be able to get this limited time thing. Um, People are sick of that, you know, and I'm sick of that. I want to play games too, and I'm not happy when a game says, look, you have 5 days to unlock Cloud Strife. You're not going to have enough time, but if you spend $10, you will have enough time. People don't want that. So if if the studio remains internally funded, that means no one's going to tell me what to do, which means I'll make games the way I want to make them. And that means I'll never betray the trust that people put in the Silver Falls games. People trust me to make these games fun and good, and to prioritize the players, and that's my focus. So yeah, that's where I'm at, and that's why I don't have a team, because I've had a lot of projects that canceled. They'd get pretty far in, and then people sort of just lose track of what's going on, and then we end up having to cancel projects. So if I'm working on the games alone, it's very difficult. It's very stressful, but that means that 100% I can get the games finished, and they're absolutely going to be what I want them to be. No one's going to tell me how to make my video game. And that's about it. Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Closhin. Is that how you, if I'm saying it wrong? Oh wow, you heard about Silver Falls from the someone in Discord. Well, thanks for that. You know what, I really appreciate it. It's the games I wouldn't be able to sell any if people weren't helping me spread the word, because I just don't have a budget for marketing. I fund the studio myself, and it takes a lot of time to develop them. So I'm so grateful to everyone, even for checking out the games, and then for telling other people about it. I'm so grateful for that. So I can't say that I don't have a team. That would be a lie, because my team is people who enjoy the games and then talk about them with other people. So that's my team. Awesome. Yeah. So look, I believe that if you work hard, you don't always get what you deserve. But if you don't work hard, you'll never know how far you can push yourself and how good you can become at something. So I've been pushing myself as hard as I can since I started this series, and it hasn't become as well known yet as I would like it to. That just means that, hey, I'll keep working. There's a handful of people around the world enjoying it, and that's really cool. But working on these 7 games, it's wow. Yeah, you're right. It is a transformative process. It's my whole life revolved, well, especially this month, my whole life has revolved around getting these games done. And it's really because Nintendo announced the eShop closures, and I saw how bummed out people were. I was a little bummed out as well, you know, because I clearly enjoy the 3DS and Wii U. I don't want to see the shops, I don't want to see their sales end, but you know, life is what it is. You have to roll with the punches. And then I saw this as an opportunity that if I were to make these games, it would soften the blow of the eShop ending sales, and that it would give something that's positive for people. People will have some positive feelings attached to the end of the eShop, as opposed to just you know, fizzling out. I want the eShop to end with a bang, and it's something that we can all enjoy together. I explained the situation to Nintendo, and realistically, you know, I only realistically had 4 weeks to get these games, which I originally had developed them. Well, a number of them, they started development on the 3DS. I moved them onto the Switch because obviously it's the modern console. But the work that I've been doing the past month is now a lot of these games were sitting at 50% completion. One was sitting at, you know, 85% completion. I now had to port them back onto the 3DS, and there's a lot of work that goes into that. And then I have to, of course, finish programming and adding the supplemental data. So, but you know, people look like they're really looking forward to these games, and that's awesome. So I'm very excited about it, and I just can't wait to get the game out to people. So what I'm gonna do with this funny guy, I'll do a bit here. So I'll explain, like, when you see a horse, you know what a horse's limbs are like, right? Like, it's gonna sort of, oops, I'll undo it anyway. It's gonna be like, it'll go like that, and then down. You get this down bit here, you know, and that's sort of like how horses and dogs sort of thing. And that's like your brain sees that, and it's a little comforting when your brain sees something that's familiar. So I want to try something different with this guy, because this guy's supposed to be a little uncomfortable to look at. So what I'm gonna do is something different. So I have to just attach some. Oop, don't like that. I'm gonna turn this track up a little bit. I don't think we've heard this one yet. Okay, yeah, there we go. So there's something it's less recognizable now, and your brain expects legs to work a certain way. So when your brain sees that, it thinks, yeah, okay, that's something's not right there. There's something a little off. So it looks like fun Play-Doh for now, and then of course as I add detail and sculpt it, I could add detail for bones and muscle structure. So what I want to do is add some muscle structure here now. Here we go, like that. Yum yum, look at them fun legs. Look, I think that the key to making your limbs not right is to just make your elbow go the wrong way, you know. Nobody wants their elbow to go the wrong way. And once you do, you know, you know when, okay, what's going on here? I don't like what's going on here. Doesn't seem good. Did I use a freeze brush on that, or what's going on? I am not excited with what's happening here. Something's wrong. Something's real wrong. No, I didn't do that. Wonder what happened. What if I draw on these pixels? Okay, there's something real bad. That's real bad, okay? Something happened here. I was chatting away and I've done something here. Uh-oh. We've done a funny here. Something real bad happened. Okay, there's a problem there. I don't know what went wrong. We're just gonna leave that for now. That's gone wrong. I don't know what happened. We're gonna have to leave that. Okay, let's get back to this part here. Oh, what a cute, fun little guy. Okay. So he's supposed to have a. Oop. Let's go ahead and give him some kissable lips. That'll be nice. Something for real smooching time here. There we go. That's smoochable, I say. Real smoochable. Okay, so here's our grab tool. And we're just gonna, let's see, I'll zoom in a little. This has to be kind of mouthy, you know. Grab it, move it in there. Alright, to keep things manageable, I'll just go through here with the reduce brush. I'll have to keep dragging that back in more and more and more until you can't see where the end of the throat is. I don't need to go all the way to the stomach, of course, unless you were modeling it to where, you know, if the camera could go inside the mouth, like a character gets, you know, right eaten up in there. So we got a fun lumpy boy here. Yeah, yeah, that whole completely changes things. It's holes are look, I'm just as susceptible to those horrible you know you get those clickbait articles and it has like someone that had like holes or something on their elbow like they had been leaning in pebbles or something and it looks like there's holes in their arm. Ugh, that's not nice to look at, you know. I was not real happy when I see those. Okay, we'll zoom in a little bit. Ooh. Yum, 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 yum. So we got some big, big kissable lips. We got big kissing energy. Ooh. We'll work on that later. So we'll just keep extending that a bit more later on as well. So what I want to do is grab the top kissing parts. Here we go. We want them to come down like that. Yum, 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 yum. So I think what would make it look kind of gross is if the lips now had like a drippy quality to them. So now they come forward, but then they'll... Uh-oh. See, that's where you can have problems. You want to fix those up with the reduce brush when that happens. There we go. So now our lips will have a drippy quality to them. So they come down like that a little bit. Flaps are always pretty gross on anything. Kissable. Very kissable. Yeah, we'll have nice, fun, drippy lips. Oh, yeah. When I'm making this, I always like to sort of, in my mind, I like to envision what they'll look like when they're running with full lighting in the game. Try to imagine the lighting and the environments that they will appear in, and I try to create the designs for those. It's sort of like how Batman's suit looks really cool in the dark at night, but then during the daytime it doesn't really fit in, you know. So I try to keep in mind what sort of setting these monster designs will be appearing in. Yeah, trypophobia. I've got that. Yum, 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 yum. Okay, he looks so happy. So what we're going to do now, like if you look at a certain angle, like yum, he's cute, he's happy, you know? So what we'll do is we'll just grab now. We'll want to adjust it. Let's see here. Hold on, a little bit like that. And we'll just, now it looks a little more miserable about that. And you want to extend these. There we go. And you want to give it a form that is less cute. So grab that there, like that. Okay, so what we'll do now is generally round things tend to look very cute. So over time, as I'm working on the sculpt more, I'll increase the angularity and the gauntness of the figures so that they tend to start looking less cute and they look more menacing because they're more angular and they're more thin, which gives them a hungry look. This guy will not have eyeballs. Now what we'll do is zoom in a little, bring that in like this. I try to have hints of animal anatomy and then hints of human anatomy. Usually I try to keep that a bit more subtle in the monster designs, but you want to try to include, even if it's subconscious, some recognizable or familiar traits, because that helps people relate to a visual design. But you need to have just enough of unrecognizable visual traits that make a monster unsettling. And I think when it comes to horror monsters, that's the kind of thing I enjoy. So what I'll work on the proportions later, but that needs to be able to like lick people. All right, man, I really need to figure out what happened there. That's not great, is it? It's really problematic. Click something there, my polygons have gone bad. All right, so I want to figure out where I need to visually tell myself where the elbows are on this guy, and I think I'm gonna put them a little something like, hold on. We are going to look at this guy's joint. So I'm going to say there's a bone there and a bone there. So what I think would be nice is if the joints didn't line up proportionately. So if he's got a joint there, I'm actually going to say that this guy's got another joint down here, so they don't really line up. And I want that sort of off-balance look that it looks wrong. Okay, so I'm just adding some detail there that I can sculpt, and then I'll sculpt around that more later, so I know that's where my knee joint is for that. We need to figure out what happened there. Randolph. For the Switch, but after playing Prelude and the news of the eShop closing, I've decided to buy 3 downstairs. Oh, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. So we have a massive update coming for 3 Down Stars. So what happened with some of the last, latest updates for 3 Down Stars, the engine we used to create it has memory management issues. And so what I had to do with some of the latest updates was I had to keep reducing the texture resolution on a lot of things to make the game more stable, and even then there were stability issues. But after working on the 4 games that we've got right now, that's Guardians and Metal Exterminators, Vicarious Brothers, Ghoul Busters, and Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers, I personally, as a developer, improved a fair bit because I wanted to push myself to be able to do more and make games better. So the skills that I've developed, the experience that I've gained on those 4 games, I'll be able to actually make 3 Down Stars better. So that means it'll have vastly improved visuals and textures. I can have higher resolution textures, and I can make the game more stable. So yeah, thank you very much for picking up 3 Down Stars, and please look forward to the update because I'll be bringing in some massive improvements for 3 Down Stars. Oh, you don't want to give him a cute butt though. If a monster has a cute butt, he'll be adorable. Like the worst thing you could do is like give him a cute little tail or something, and it'll be adorable. And then you just want to give him a little pet. He's got to have muscle mass here or it won't make sense for those limbs, so I'm just filling in some muscle mass down here. So I like to fill in muscle mass and then I retract it. After their mass makes sense, I retract them to make the monsters look more gaunt. So what I'll do now is I'm just going to do some quick lines here, and I'll define where my muscle attachments would be. What I really like about using the drawing stylus with the tablet is it is pressure sensitive as well, so I can just do soft lines here while I define where muscles attach, like that. If I hold the control key, it should go in reverse, and you can see... oh, hold on. Is that what happened? Okay, so that control's what messed it up. See, like that turned dark on those, and it messed those up. So how do I undo that? Because I've never accidentally pushed that button before. Let's experiment together and find out. I'm gonna save as, in case I muck up this model here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I compose all the music as well, so I'm glad you're enjoying them. Thanks. So actually, okay, this is a secret. I don't want to spoil it, but I mean, there's a couple people in the stream here, but uh, people have told me they really enjoy the music in Three Down Stars, so I'm actually doing more music that I'll be including in Three Down Stars, so some new tracks that I'll add in the next Three Down Stars update. Um, and that's, look, I'm a gamer just like you guys, so I've I've burned CDs all throughout my lives. I've downloaded video game music. I put them on CDs. I'll go on road trips and I'll just listen to video game music. So I know uh, when you enjoy video game music, it's just so cool to listen to. And people have, since Three Down Stars launch, people have been asking to have more music. And there's certain areas that are a bit quiet because I wanted them to be more ambient. And I just didn't have a lot of time to write a bigger soundtrack for Three Down Stars. So people have asked for more music, so yeah, I will be adding more music to Three Down Stars in the future. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Look, I have all the soundtracks for the Silent Hill games. I'll listen to all the Final Fantasy stuff. Resident Evil to a lesser extent. There's only a handful of Resident Evil tracks that I would want to listen to that I could recognize, but the ones that, I recognize are like, yeah, this is awesome. And I'm working on full soundtracks for each of the upcoming games as well, the 7. So that's where it's like, oh man, I've really got to get in the zone, and then I've got to really get these tracks done. So the games that I'm submitting to Nintendo, I have to get everything submitted. I have like a couple days left, right? So I'm submitting them, and I've done the main theme music for each individual game, and then I'm just reusing music from Three Down Stars to fill in the blanks. And then I'll be submitting updates to Nintendo where each game will have its own full finished soundtrack. So what I'm hoping is over the next 2 weeks I can have the full soundtracks for all 7 of these games done. Well, White Inside Its Umbra is already done, so it's just 6 games that I have to do full soundtracks for. And Undertakers itself won't have a lot of tracks. It was originally a game done in Atari 2600 style. And so I did that awful speaker, Atari sounding music, but I'm writing some new tracks because there is a new mode in Undertakers for Wii U, and that mode has the modern graphic style. So I'm writing probably like 5 tracks for that as well. So I don't want to dramatize it and exaggerate. So it's really 5 games mostly that I'll be doing full soundtracks for. Oops, that's a little too much. Oh wait, hold on. I was trying to experiment with this thing. So I pressed Control and it froze those. I want to unfreeze those. What if I hold Shift and Control? Uh-oh. What did I do? What did I do? Uh-oh. Okay. Shift and Control was bad. I don't know how to undo that. What if I did Alt and Control? I broke it. Oh. I broke it. I'm going to open my file that I saved. There we go. Yep. Okay. So Shift and Control is bad. Never do that. I'm going to Control Alt now. Okay, so testing again, Control seems to have frozen those. Oh wait, I'll try Control Alt. Yep, that'll fix it. Cool, we did it, everyone. Yep, that'll fix it. We fixed it. Good job, everyone. Good team effort. We have done it. I'm gonna hold Control Alt. We fixed those pixels. They're not frozen anymore. They're not pixels. Oh my goodness. We did it, everyone. Good team effort. High five. High five. Good job, everyone. We did it. All right. Let's go ahead and fix that guy now. He's got funny nobules there. You know what? This will just be a fun secret between us because we're hanging out here. This is our fun little secret together. We're gonna leave those little nobules there. And when people play the game and they see those funny knobs, you'll know that's our secret. We put them there. We'll connect it with some muscle tendons there. All right, so what I'm gonna do is gonna give some muscles to this boy. What I like to do is define the muscles and give hints of tendons, and then after that I like to sort of carve canyons in between those, and it gives, I think, a sort of visceral amount of detail to the figure. So I like to imagine where the tendons are underneath the skin and how they attach to different bone joints. He's a funny nobule that's just between us now. Okay. That one's a little too curvy, isn't it? Okay, so this has got a tendon there and attaches like that. So when I say like carving canyons, what I'm going to do here is hold the don't hold the control key. See? We learned something today. I'm going to hold the Alt. There we go. And that's going to carve in like that. Let's see. Yeah, high five. All right. Okay. So if you guys haven't seen this monster in Undertakers, he's a fun guy. So I tend to not give monsters in Silver Falls names. They're never listed in the games, and that's because when you understand the name of something and when you give something a name, you have power over that thing and you have an understanding of that thing. And that's why we love labeling things. We love giving ourselves labels. We love giving other people labels, animals, sports, techniques. We love giving them labels because then our brain can easily understand it and comprehend it. So with Silver Falls, I don't give monsters names, and I do that on purpose because then it's harder to understand that thing because you don't have an immediate grasp and you feel like you have less control over it. And also that invites a sense of interaction from the player because now the player has to invent a name for the creatures. So one of my favorite things when I'm playing games, I'm almost always playing games with friends. It's really boring playing games by myself. So I'll play like RPGs and whatnot by myself, but I'd really prefer to play games with friends or siblings. And one of my favorite things is when you see something funny in a game and the game doesn't name it, so you get to make up a name and you just visually describe the weird thing you're looking at in a game. And that's one of my favorite things. So I'm building Silver Falls around that, is people just get to make up their own names for the monsters. So sometimes people will message me and they'll say like, man, what was that headless chicken thing in 3 Down Stars, you know? So that's fun, you know. I love making up names for especially in pixel art games when stuff is like, is that a top hat with a machine gun, or what is that? What am I looking at? So and of course you gotta have just fun, weird details that kind of look like things, and people can sort of put 2 and 2 together and say like, man, what is even going on there? One of my favorite movies is The Thing. I've watched the original and of course the remake. Oh man, you know, like what the original did for its time, obviously very impressive, but gee whiz, I've seen a lot of 50s movies, monster creature features. I find the original Thing kind of dull because it's a lot of like mid-Atlantic middle-aged men standing around going, hey, did you see this thing? I saw a thing over there. Oh, look at that thing over there. Oh, that thing over there. Whoa, look at that thing. I don't think that's a very engaging style of storytelling, but I really prefer the Thing from the 80s. Was it 80s or 70s? Man, I really should know that off the top of my head. I also like to have, I like to make it clear where the spine is, you know, so I try to have a ridge back there. Shimnesthai Tahai? Wow, 3 a.m. Thanks for hanging out and watching the video a bit. Wanted to make a game. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking the games out. And I hope that everyone has a lot of fun with these games. I'm putting a massive amount of effort into it. I just want to make something cool for the Wii U that we can all enjoy. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I'll share as much as I can with the details more soon. So take care. Have a good sleep. It's 3 a.m. over there. Hey, Bo, what's up? Hey, thanks for talking about our upcoming games. I actually watch your videos while I'm working, so I always have YouTube videos running. I'm gonna lower my music a little bit. I always have videos playing. Sorry, the music's been too loud for ages. My bad. I'm sorry about that. Um, yeah, I'm always watching people, so I've actually, yeah, sometimes I'll just put your videos on and watch them because I like hearing about the the Wii U, the 3DS, and whatnot. So I love hearing people talk about that. I love hearing about homebrew. Um, you know, but obviously I really enjoy the consoles because I'm going out of my way to make sure we get some last minute games for it. No, oh, I pushed the control key. What do we do to fix it? Control Alt. Oh yeah, okay, we fixed it. uh, I don't know if you guys missed it, but I accidentally froze some polygons down there, and they were really messed up, and we had to figure out how to fix it. My first time messing that up. Okay, let's see. Give them a couple more tendons here. How about this? So I make these super high polygon models, and then I can use the high polycount ones for renders and whatnot, and then I usually, well, I always have to make lower polycount versions that I use in the games themselves, but the stuff that I made for the upcoming Wii U game, like I'm surprised I was able to get them running on the Wii U at such a stable frame rate with the amount of detail that I had on the monsters. And this is one that will be in one of the Wii U games. And it's pretty big. They're like tree-sized, so it's pretty tough to fight these. But this is for the game where four humans four players team up as the human characters, and then they can fight these things. So the gamepad player gets to place these guys. So each time you start a match, there's like a Wheel of Fortune thing that rolls. So sometimes the humans will get random bonuses. Sometimes the Undertaker player will get random bonuses. So each time you play, it could be really unfair. You'll get unfair bonuses. But the gamepad player gets to place these monsters around a map strategically in real time, while the human players have to try to survive them. Um, I I love the Wii U. I love the gamepad. Like, how cool is it that you have this way to interact? It's not like I was hoping, um, when the Wii U first came out, I was hoping, oh, every developer's totally going to get it. This is going to be awesome. And I thought the bare minimum is at least put your inventory management down at the bottom so you don't have to pause the game to access your inventory. I was really hoping even, popular mainstream games, just put the touchscreen down there so I can see my health, I can change my items, I don't have to, exit the action. So as a Wii U owner, I was super disappointed that more developers didn't make games that use the touchscreen that way. So with White Inside It's Umbra, I just want to lean totally into it 100%. You can't play this game without the gamepad. It's got to be gamepad or nothing. And then with Undertakers, it uses the gamepad where one player uses the gamepad to spawn these monsters, and that's a huge advantage, obviously, because the gamepad player can see where everyone is, whereas the human players can't see what's going on. What have I done here? I've done something weird here. Something's not right. Something's wrong. Don't push the control key. What have I done? I've broken it. What have I've made a terrible mistake? Draw. Look like that. Yeah, draw. I've broken it. I was gabbing away while sculpting. I'm gonna hit undo a bunch of times, and you know, I'm just gonna I'm gonna open my last save. I don't know when I last saved. Guess we'll find out. Actually, hold on. We'll save this one as a different file first. There we go. That's what happens. I'm chatting away, and I didn't pay attention to what buttons I was pressing. All right, let's open this. You saying? Oh, oop. Yeah, I didn't lose that much stuff. Still working? Yeah. Okay. Cool. 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 Ocean, hey, thanks for stopping by and hanging out on the stream. It was cool to chat. Hopefully I'll do another stream we can talk about games more. Thanks a lot. Take care. We'll see you next time. I'm gonna turn the air conditioner on because I'm starting to feel like I'm out of West Side Story with I'm just like coated in sweat. So my lighting might move around a bit. Bo, what are your favorite games on the uh, on the Wii U and 3DS? Because for me, when Smash came out, I was just like, you, you'd be hard pressed to find me without Smash uh, in the disk drive or in the cartridge slot. So I've played a ton of well, I like to call it Smaforsh, Smash 4. Um, but I'm actually like a pretty big Skylanders fan, so I played a lot of the Skylanders on Wii U, and I loved having the gamepad there. And it added features that, it's just a level of interaction that you couldn't get on anything else. I think one of the, let's see, crease. I'm gonna crease, right? So I think one of the most upsetting aspects that you can have visually in a creature is like creases and like in between the muscles, especially around the neck area. I think is one of the more visually upsetting things to look at. So I like to use them as much as I can. Ooh, yuck! Look at that. Ooh. Now he's looking like a fun boy. Oh no! I need to stop pushing that button. That button's ruining everything. Sorry, I've got some shortcuts on my tablet, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm like pushing all the buttons at the same time for some reason, and it's freezing up it's like locking the polygons and stopping them from sculpting. Yoshi's Woolly World could come to Switch. Man, there's something so adorable about those Yoshi games. They're just impossibly adorable. I think if a game can be ported to Switch, please do, But at the same time, I'm a proponent of the uniqueness of the Wii U. Uh, so I'm torn, It's not a black and white issue. It's quite complex. Um, because on one side, I'd love to see enhanced versions of Wii U games on the Switch. So, oop, bumped my thing. I'll smooth out these bits later. There we go. So here I can carve out the real sinewy muscles and details in this guy. So I carve out the most highly detailed versions first, then I make like a duplicate model as a backup, and that way I can reduce it and prepare it for in-game use. So I'm going to imagine that there's a tendon connection here. So I just want to give a bit more detail and prominence to that so people can understand there's a gross tendon there. Here we go. We'll carve that out. Probably should move the camera, shouldn't I? Some tendons there, right? And again, this guy is going to be in in one of the Wii U games, and he might make an appearance in one of our upcoming 3DS games. Who knows? We'll see. Now I'm being careful about all these shortcut buttons. I went shortcut. I got shortcut fever for a minute, and I was pushing all these shortcut buttons. I was messing things up. There we go. There we go. We got these funny nobules here. Hold on, it's a little bit too sharp, isn't it? I'll zoom out a little. Here we go. So actually, one of my favorite features about well, like say for example, a game on the Wii U that used the gamepad, but it was still a multi-platform game. One example is Skylanders Trap Team, and you trapped the villains uh, in these crystals, and then you sort of you did the Vegeta effect where you're like, or the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure effect where you beat someone up, and then now you're best friends forever. Uh, and with Skylanders Trap Team, uh, the trap, the USB device, had a speaker on it, so the villains could actually chat to you and give their input during the levels. And I thought that's just the coolest thing ever. It gave so much personality to every character. And there are certain villains where you want to put them in the trap just because you like their attitude and personality, and you like their lines of dialogue throughout the levels. But one thing that the gamepad let you do is they were present and you can see them and you can interact with them on the touchscreen. And it's just really cool small details like that, that make the gamepad so cool and interesting. It had so much charisma. Yeah, it did make it to the 3DS, didn't it? I totally forgot about that. Okay, so I'm looking at where my bones would be. No bones. All right, so like in my mind, I'm sort of thinking like, let's get some funny nobules here. How about that? So we'll carve out some bits like that, and I'll do a bit more carving later as well. And then we'll smoothen those things out. But I want to give them, better save, shouldn't I? Let's give them some funny nobules. How about that? Oh, close. How about that? Like that. Gross. That's there's it. There's a certain point where too much detail is really gross. So where I can, where I think I can make it obvious, I try to put more detail to where I think it's just like an upsetting amount of detail. So of course I'll reduce those polygons as we go as well, but let's go ahead and put some funny nobules, and now we'll put some um, tendon connections in there like that. Tendon connection. I'm going to reduce this brush and I'm going to zoom out. There we go. That's it. And down like that. Yeah, and I have had people asking and saying, put the upcoming Wii U and 3DS games, put them on Switch because they don't use the 3DS and Wii U anymore. I'm not going to say no to that. There's no reason why I shouldn't put them on the Switch, but that sort of thing takes time to do correctly, and you want to make the most of the platform that you're putting a game on. So I don't want to rush through something like that. And right now, my focus is giving 7 really good games, giving them to the Wii U and 3DS users. That's my priority right now, but I'm not going to say no to porting them to the Switch if people really want them. But let's wait and see first, because I'm realistic. What if these games launch and people don't like them? Then there wouldn't be much reason for me to port them to Switch. If people said they're terrible, nobody likes these games, they're awful. You have to be able to accept that reality, and you have to understand maybe I end up making a game that people just don't like. So you have to keep a level head about that and be realistic. So I'm not promising to port these games, and that's why I haven't given an answer on that yet. Because I can't be the judge of whether these games will be good or not. It's up to you guys and everyone around the world to determine whether these games are any good. And oh man, I almost pushed the kill button again. And if they are good, if people enjoy them, then of course I'll port them. Oh yeah, oh man, Zombie U is so cool. In my brain, I just kind of assumed going forward on the Wii U, I thought every game was going to be that kind of cool innovation. Everyone's going to use the gamepad in a cool way. So, such a cool game. Yeah, the way it used the gamepad, like, you're sort of like unlocking things and you're looking for items in like lockers and drawers and stuff, and then you're not sure if something's gonna attack you from out of nowhere. That's so cool. So what I'm doing here is I'm adding these sort of like gross puss blobs, at the bottom. So you would think like, oh, this guy's gonna have like gross, pokey, bony hands, but I'm putting blobs of pus at the bottom of his hands or feet because I think that's gross. So, cool. Yuck, what's that all about? What's going on there? Amazing Island on GameCube. No, I've not heard of Amazing Island on GameCube. I'll check it out as soon as I'm done with this stream. I love monsters, I love scary stuff. You can't stop me. You can't stop me from playing horror games. All right, let's give him some gross blobs at the back as well. Also, what I really like about this program, now I haven't used Pixelogic's other sculpting programs, but obviously they're going to be improved in every single way. But I really like there's a triangle count. I mean, uh, I'm sort of in front of the triangle count. I'm pointing at it over here. It tells you how many triangles your sculpt currently has. So I'm familiar with each platform that I'm developing on, what my triangle count should be around in order to achieve a pretty decent frame rate. I'm just gonna have a sip of my coffee here. Oh man, gross. Look at this elephantitis nonsense going on back here. This is fun. This is fun and gross. Ew, yuck. Okay, and we want to give it, of course, some tendon attachments as well. So let's zoom out a bit. And now what I'm going to do is, like, if you look at the wireframe mode, you can see there's way too many polygons. Let's go ahead and switch shaders here. This one's fun to look at too. I quite like this one. This is a cool one. Oh, you get to create. I love that stuff. What was it? Pengel's Magic Pen or Pengel's Magic Drawing? I don't know. Any game where you can like draw or create your own monsters, I'm 100% for that. I play that, I love that kind of stuff. But it's you're always going to, when you're hanging out with your friends, you're always going to who can draw like the most like horrible thing and then turn it into like a monster character you can play. And I love those kind of games. I'm crazy about those games. I love that stuff. All right, I'm gonna make this more manageable now. So I'm using my reduce brush. I like the DS stuff where you can like create your own character. You draw on the touch screen and then you can like draw stuff that go in the environment, like level elements and stuff. Oh, I love that stuff. That's so cool. Yeah, that's where the Jesse, yeah, making stuff on like a PS2 controller, GameCube controller. I know the struggle. That's when the Wii U was like it seemed like, not the Wii U, the Wii when it had the Wii modes. Like that's when you sort of thought it would get better, but it's like trying to draw with the Wiimote with the pointer. Like this is way worse. This is really hard to do. Right, we're gonna make these more manageable. Ooh, I like this fun, shiny, gross shader. This is fun. All right, we're just going to make our poly count manageable. What a fun boy. Look at this guy. He's fun. All right, these nobules are just for us. No one else will know why they're there. That's just for us, you guys. Okay. You can see there's a certain point where you don't even need that much density in the polygons. You can reduce it and you still get the same amount of detail for the most part, and obviously there is a point where that's no longer you do notice a difference, but there's good balance, there's a definite balance between what you're going to get good performance and what still looks highly detailed. So that's part of the fun as well, is looking for that balance and seeing what works. I'm going to have to smooth out these polygons later on as well. What a fun little mouth hole. It's something I've never said before. That's a weird sentence. the music too quiet? Let me check. I don't know. It should just be sort of ambient. Most of these tracks are from Three Down Stars. People have been asking for the soundtrack, if I could sell the soundtrack. I haven't had the time to organize that because I'm always working on the games, but I hear you, and that's something that I really would like to offer. And I'm actually glad I waited because I like, you know, this is a secret between us and the stream, but I'm adding new music tracks to the upcoming Three Down Stars update. So when I do get the soundtrack ready, I don't know, like Apple Music or Spotify, however you guys want it, I can include the new tracks there. So there we go. What a fun little spinal column. Look at the fun little muscles on this guy. This guy turned out way more fun than I thought it would. Look at his fun little muscles and tendons in there. Oh, we totally forgot about the back legs. Look, they're still adorable. Look how adorable. It's because they're all round and bendy like a 1950s Disney cartoon back here. It's got noodle arms going on. All right, let's give him some detail now. Let's work on this a little bit. Bring the chat back up. Okay, so I want to give some definition to the joints. All right, so this is the location of one of our joints. On a definite joint, I'll carve that back a little bit. That's a little too obvious. And then we want some tendon connections as well. And again, this is where I really like having the drawing tablet to sculpt because you have pressure sensitivity. So now you can see you've got a tendon connection there, just like that. All right. And I try not to ever become to take for granted the technology that we have, because it is ridiculous how easy it is for me to create this stuff with the software and hardware that's available to me. And I try to stay acutely aware that before this point in technology, achieving this would have been extremely difficult. And it's important to always keep in mind where we've come from in terms of technology, especially for game development, because technology is always improving and changing, and I think it's important. It's part of our history to understand, like, it wasn't always this easy, you know, and you shouldn't take that for granted, how easy it is to be able to just go, oh look, now it's, you know, I've got a creature here. So let's go ahead and crease. I'm gonna save. Penguil's Magic. What was it? It was a PS2 game. I rented it from Hollywood Video with one of my friends when I was a teenager. Oh man, we were just drawing the dumbest stuff when I rented that game. A lot of fun. How do I want to crease this here? Let's go like that. So I want to imagine that he's got bone. It's going to be mostly bone up the top there. And we'll just put some tendon definition in there with the creases. Alt. Let's move this. Some tendon definition in there. This looks delicious. You take a bite out of this guy. He looks so tasty. It's like a piece of candy. So sorry. Yeah, he looks like candy because he's so shiny. Some creases in there. We've got some bone definition. Okay, Alt. Go. There we go. So I want to put some definition in here because we have a joint here as well. Okay, here we go. A joint in there. They stick out a lot. I think they stick out an upsetting amount, so that's probably good. And if I had more time, you know, I would love to keep creating more new monsters for Silver Falls games, but it's sort of like you don't want to overpopulate the world that you create. With Silver Falls, especially with the monsters, I want people to have time to get attached to each particular monster. So you don't want to stuff too much content in one game. People will play a game for a certain amount of time, especially if it's a new game, and then you always form a particular relationship with that game, and the relationship you have with that game is unique to how other people will play the game. That's your own personalized experience, and there has to be a degree of charisma in terms of the monsters, because yes, they are the antagonist of the game, and no, you don't want to get killed by them, but you still form an attachment to those monsters. You form a bond with those creatures, and if you put too many in one game, it doesn't give people enough time to spend with each creature, and that's generally one of the reasons why I try to not pack too much into each title. So each game for Silver Falls, I try to think about what, sort of what's going to be the signature monster for this Silver Falls game, and I try to have it enough in there to where the game feels varied. But each creature should have their own spotlight, their own time. Hey, Barry, what's up? How's it going, Barry? What time is it there? Oh no. Ew. Those knees, they shouldn't be bending that way, but they are. They shouldn't be that way, but they are. So, oh, what a fun boy. Look at that. What do you guys think of it? Yes, Barry, I will sculpt you like one of my French girls. So I think these bits, they're not, they don't have enough presence. So what I'm going to do is use the inflate tool. Let's see here. I'll inflate these nobules a bit. How about that? Oh, I'll turn this track up. This is the theme music for Vicarious Brothers. This is the theme song for Ghoul Busters. So I've caused problems here, as you can see with the inflate tool. I need to take a few steps back. This is why you have to be really careful when you're sculpting, and it's tough when you're chatting as well, because you can really break things. I can't step back far enough. Let's see if I can just fix that. Back and add more definition to them again in a little bit, but that's something we can do at a later time. Alt. Ooh. Sorry about that, folks. Alright, back to our reduce brush to make things make sense here. I can also work on this. This is a mirror. Okay, we'll turn the music down now. Oh, this is the theme music for Guardians and Metal Exterminators. bit now. Sorry if that was too loud. I just wanted to share some of the music with you. Let's have a look at our boy here. Yeah, look at him. Yum 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 yum. Ooh, he's so sinewy. So I quite enjoy the look. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think. So with this guy, I quite like the look of, you can see the form of the muscles, and then, I don't know where I'm pointing now. The form of the muscles make it look like the legs are on backwards. This is like a backwards horse, so he's not quite, it's not right. And you can see because there's more muscle mass and more tendon connections out here than there are on the inside, it makes it feel like the front arms, it makes it feel like those are not correct either. They're too thin here, and he's quite bulky along the elbow joints, and I think it gives it an unbalanced look. So that's what I really like about this design so far. It doesn't have eyeballs where you think they should be. I'm thinking about making these lips a little more kissable. It just depends on, this program might have like a kissable slider, so if I can adjust the kissable slider, I might try to make it more kissable. What a fun, look at this guy. All right, I better, I'll work on the fine details a bit more now. I just finished working on the joints and whatnot. We're pretty good on this guy. We've gotten pretty good. Oh, better get back to the chat. How about that? Ah, you know what? Hey, when you're a grown-up, I mean, you barely get sleep anyway, so getting any sleep at all as a grown-up is welcome. You know, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not sure if I want to. See, he's got like no butt. I'm not sure if I'm gonna try this. Let's just inflate. Oop. Okay, actually that looks a little better. I'm just gonna inflate this a little bit. And up here, I'm a little bit worried about this part here. No, we're fine. Okay, we're fine there. This is a fun boy. Look at him. Kissy, kissy, kiss. Alright, so I just need to look for areas now where I need to finish the tendon and muscle definition. So we'll head to our crease tool. Save again. Actually, I'll make a backup. How about this? I'll just do another file here. This is number 1. I'll save it as number 2. Cool. Okay. We want to define it. I'm just looking for spots that need a bit more definition. See, what I really like is this fun area up here where it just looks really meaty. You can see there's a lot of like tendons and valleys and whatnot where it looks like there's muscles and tendons attaching. So I want to do a bit more of that. You're never really going to see the back end of this guy in the game because he's 100%. You know, he's coming to give you a big old kiss. He's always going to be chasing you down from the front side. So I'm just imagining where the tendons are connecting right now. Zoom out. There we go. Nice. It's going to be one big tendon, one big meaty muscle right there. Okay. Ooh, that's a lot of muscle back there. It's a big, strong boy. Okay. Okay, Here's a spot where I can give a bit of muscle definition. We'll carve that out like that, see? And then we'll just... I don't know what's wrong with my brain right now. That looks awful. That's not right at all. Oops, sorry. Bumped into my cable here. It should be a bit more like this. Hold on. Pardon me. Okay, and then I'm just looking here where there should be some tendon connections. And then we'll smooth that out so it logically makes more sense later as well. Okay? Yeah, that looks real good. That's okay. Actually, I should just make sure that this is finished up here. So we've got these funny little neck nipples. Yes. Okay. We're just going to finish that that design element right here. We'll put a neck nipple there, there. Ew, you know what? He could probably use a couple more neck nipples right here. Can we get one right here? Can I get a neck nipple? Well, that's kissable. Ooh, fun. What a fun, fun boy. Okay. I think I'm just having a... Because this is quite a big monster, you're going to see him mostly... He's going to be towering over you in the games. Here we go. So I just want to make sure that I have correctly and fully defined what's going on here. I want it to have this sort of uncanny look of a cavernous chest area. There we go. A bit like that. Yep. Now, what we will do is use the grab tool. Let's just zoom out a bit. What we're going to do is grab this, move it forward. Yep. Grab this and move it forward. Okay. So that's like, yeah, that's fun. So already the profile of it, it's not something that you can visually recognize the shape of, even though it might seem familiar. And I think that's right where I want it to be in terms of recognizability. Let's go ahead and carve it. So it must be pretty, oh, it's, yeah, it'd be well past midnight in the States now, wouldn't it? In Australia, it's 5:36 here. Okay, just want to make some detail here. Yum. Look at that. All right, and now we want to, in terms of anatomy, we want to visually sort of connect our lines for our tendons and muscles. We want to make sure everything makes a cohesive sense now. And it looks like it's a creature that could exist physiologically. Okay, we've carved out some things. Let's just paint in a few more points. Just a little bit more detail work here. Yep, I quite like that there. I want to crease this. Actually, we'll go like this. Big, long crease down like that, and I really like that muscle line right there. I quite enjoy that. Okay, now this area is just a little too chunky. There's not enough physiological or anatomical definition, so let's go ahead and give that a bit more anatomical definition, just like that. Okay, a bit more like that. A bit more like that. All right, we want to finish up the details. Actually, we'll do this. Carve like that. We're getting close to finishing this guy here, right? Okay, and then we go draw. Oh, hold on. Brush is a little too small there. Make the brush just a little bigger. You have pressure sensitivity as well. Okay, that. Like that. A little bit. Like that. A little bit like that. Alrighty. Hey, what do you think of that? Let's turn off the wireframe here. What do you guys think of this handsome boy? So I'm going to tinker with this just a little bit. I'm just going to fine-tune a few elements here, and I will fine-tune the proportions of the head and the mouth in relation to the body. I need to figure out what visually looks more upsetting. And once I figure that out, I'm going to optimize and reduce the polygons so we can get this rigged and import it into our upcoming Silver Falls games. Look at that. What a handsome boy. Fantastic. So I think I'll wrap up the stream here. Everyone, thank you very much for watching. Let me see. I really appreciate everyone for watching, so thanks very much. Thank you for checking out Silver Falls, and I hope you're looking forward to the upcoming titles. This is just one of the fun monsters that's going to be in our upcoming games. It was really fun working on this and chatting and hanging out with everyone. And don't tell anyone about those funny little nobules that we put on the front. Take care, everyone. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot, Jesse. We'll see you again. Hopefully I can do another stream soon. Take care. We'll see you. All right, we're ending the stream. Thank you, everyone.